Viking woman, the brutal reality of daily life in Norse society. Welcome to the disgusting forgotten history, where we uncover the brutal truths that romanticized retellings conveniently ignore about our ancestors' genuine daily existence. Today we reveal the Viking woman's reality, a life of relentless hardship that history has sanitized beyond recognition and popular culture has transformed into fiction. Stay with us until the end to discover what survival truly meant in the unforgiving world of Norse medieval society. First, dawn in the Longhouse. Frigid darkness still gripped the land when Astrid's eyes opened on the straw-filled sleeping bench, her breath forming clouds in the bitterly cold interior air. The Longhouse reeked of smoke, unwashed bodies, livestock manure, and rancid fat, a suffocating combination that permeated every fiber and surface throughout the dwelling's interior. She pulled aside scratchy woolen blankets crawling with lice and bedbugs that had feasted on her skin throughout the night, leaving itching welts across her body. Her back ached from the thin straw mattress beneath, her joints stiff from cold, and the previous day's endless physical labor that would resume within minutes. Astrid stumbled toward the central hearth pit where last night's fire had died to ash, her bare feet touching the packed earth floor strewn with rotting rushes. She struck flint against steel repeatedly with cold, numbed fingers until sparks finally caught the dried moss tinder, coaxing reluctant flames from precious firewood reserves. Smoke immediately filled the Longhouse interior before eventually finding the roof opening, stinging her eyes and coating her lungs with acrid particles she would breathe constantly. Second, the endless labor of survival. As weak dawn light filtered through the smoke hole, Astrid began her first task of milking the household's 2 goats, penned at the Longhouse's far end. The animals had defecated throughout the night, their waste mixing with urine-soaked straw that would need hauling outside later when more urgent tasks finally concluded. She squeezed milk into a wooden bucket, her cracked and bleeding hands performing the familiar motions while the goats shifted nervously in their confined space. Next came grinding barley into coarse flour using heavy stones, her shoulders burning as she crushed grain for the day's flatbread with monotonous, circular motions. The grain often contained mouse droppings, insects and stones that hadn't been completely removed, but hunger left little room for fastidious selection or complaints. She mixed the flour with water and salt, forming dense dough that she flattened and placed on hot stones near the fire's edge to bake. While bread cooked, Astrid hauled water from the nearby stream using heavy wooden buckets, making multiple trips, despite the numbing cold penetrating her thin clothing. Third, primitive hygiene and health. Bathing remained a rare luxury reserved for special occasions, with most days passing without any washing beyond splashing cold water on faces and hands. Astrid's hair hung in greasy strands beneath her linen head covering, harboring colonies of lice that she picked out occasionally but could never fully eliminate. Her woolen dress, worn continuously for months, had absorbed sweat, smoke, food stains, and bodily fluids until its original color disappeared beneath layers of accumulated filth. The single spare dress she owned received washing perhaps twice yearly in cold stream water using harsh lye soap that damaged both fabric and skin. Her teeth ached constantly from decay, several already lost to infection, with others blackened and loose from a diet heavy in coarse grains and honey. Open sores on her hands refused to heal properly, becoming infected repeatedly from constant exposure to dirt, animal waste, and the filthy implements she handled daily. Monthly menstruation meant using rags that were rinsed inadequately and reused, causing discomfort, odor, and frequent infections that she endured without remedy or medical understanding. Fourth, bearing children in brutal conditions. Astrid had given birth to 5 children in her 28 years, though only 3 survived past infancy in the harsh conditions that claimed the weak. Each pregnancy had drained her body further, leaving her malnourished, anemic, and aged beyond her years, as successive children depleted her nutritional reserves and physical strength. Labor happened in the longhouse with only experienced women attending. No pain relief available except perhaps fermented drinks that dulled senses without eliminating the agony. She had squatted over straw during contractions lasting hours, sometimes days, pushing until exhaustion while attendants offered encouragement but possessed no medical knowledge or interventions. The afterbirth had to be carefully expelled and buried to prevent evil spirits from using it for curses, according to beliefs that governed their understanding. 2 of her babies had emerged stillborn, their tiny bodies wrapped in rags and buried without ceremony in unmarked graves she could no longer locate precisely. Nursing her surviving children for years depleted her further, her breasts constantly tender and leaking while she maintained all other household responsibilities without pause or consideration. Fifth, winter's merciless grip. When winter descended with its crushing darkness and bone-penetrating cold, survival became an hourly struggle against elements determined to extinguish human life and hope. The longhouse interior transformed into a prison of smoke, darkness, and suffocating crowding as humans and animals sheltered together from howling winds and snowdrifts outside. Firewood supplies dwindled, despite careful rationing, forcing impossible choices between warmth and preserving fuel for the remaining months of frozen misery stretching ahead interminably. Food stores of dried fish, salted meat, and grain gradually depleted, with portions growing smaller as winter progressed and spring's relief remained desperately distant. The preserved foods tasted rancid and borderline spoiled, but starvation meant eating anything that wouldn't immediately cause death, regardless of flavor or questionable safety. Astrid's children coughed constantly in the smoke-filled darkness, their bodies weakened by malnutrition and cold, several developing fevers she could only watch helplessly while praying. She lay awake many nights listening to the wind shriek across the roof, wondering if they would survive until spring or join the countless others claimed. The authentic life of a Viking woman bore no resemblance to the empowered shield maidens of modern entertainment. Her existence consisted of unrelenting physical labor, primitive living conditions, constant health challenges, and the daily struggle to keep her family alive in one of history's harshest environments. These women possessed remarkable resilience and strength, not through wielding weapons, but through enduring conditions that would break most modern individuals within days. If this unfiltered glimpse into historical reality opened your eyes to the truths that textbooks sanitize, please like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the Disgusting Forgotten History and activate notifications to join us as we continue revealing the uncomfortable realities of how our ancestors actually lived, suffered, and survived. Together we preserve honest history, not comfortable myths. Thank you for watching, and remember that the past was far more brutal than we typically acknowledge,